Lead your journey into Cabernet Sauvignon magnificence. It's been 18 months in planning, but finally it is here. Cape Wine, and a celebration of the very best of South African wine. Producers from across the country, but also people from all over the world, buying wine, drinking wine, selling wine, just enjoying some really, really good quality. So today, day one, I'm off to explore, to meet some of the people involved, and to find out just why this is such an electric occasion. So people are coming from all over the world for Cape Wine, and some of them are extremely important. Antonio, it's great to have you here, not just with Amarim being such a key part of the South African wine industry, but you're celebrating 40 years.
Yes, we started our operation here as Amarim Cork South Africa in 1982, and we are very grateful to the whole of the South African industry, also to the Pinotage Association for the support that since day one they've given to us. I mean, cork is an intrinsic part of a wine experience. I think that we've been a true partner to this industry, and it's very, very good to see the progress that the South African wine industry has done over the last 40 years. Amazing.
It's been 4 decades of this partnership. What's changed the most for you in South African wine in those 40 years?
I think that the confidence that people have on the product they are presenting has changed dramatically. 40 years ago, many of these wineries probably did not exist. Some were just starting. And today, the level of talent, the level of confidence, the quality of the wines, the adaptation of the different cultivars to the different types of soils and terroirs, this makes South Africa clearly a winner in the world of wine. Amazing progress.
You clearly believe in this Cape Wine Expo because you are one of the partners and one of the sponsors. A big drive for it is sustainability. How's that affecting what Amarim is doing at the moment?
So Amarim is very fortunate to work with a unique natural raw material, cork. Cork is the bark of a quercus, is the bark of an oak tree. So we don't cut the trees to get access to the cork, we just peel the tree every 9 years. For every single ton of cork, it captures 73 tons of CO2, which means that all our products are negative carbon footprint. One cork can capture up to 400 grams of CO2, almost cancelling the emissions generated by the production of the glass, which means that we can improve the carbon footprint of a wine bottle if you compare, for example, with a screw cap by about 29 or 30%. This is how much cork can improve the sustainability of a wine bottle. And that's something that we are doing more and more because Amarim is investing a lot more on forestry, carbon sink. We are planting over the next 5 years 1.5 million trees to add on the carbon sink that we actually generate in Portugal.
So it's a pretty good fit with Cape Wine.
I think it's a great marriage because quality wine needs to have a natural cork.
40 years so far, 40 more to come, and many more. Thanks very much for being part of Cape Wine, Antonio.
Thank you.
No surprises at a big South African wine event to find pinotage as a headline act. The godfather of pinotage is Beyers. 2022, Cape Wine, celebrating South Africa. Where does pinotage sit for you at the moment?
Pinotage is doing so well, Dan. I don't know where we're going to end. So at this stage, I think it's a beginning of a growth that we haven't seen before. And also not a growth of volume, but a growth in price. I think the qualities of pinotage have grown so much over the years that I'm astounded at what I see at this stage.
You'll know better than most the challenges that pinotage has had. There have been a few critics, we won't mention any New York ones in particular, who've never really had a great love for pinotage. The perception, I think, has changed dramatically. What's fostered that change?
Again, quality. I think the quality of the wines, but also the Pinotage Association has done a lot of marketing of Pinotage. They did a lot of tastings. They told people, not told them it's good. They gave the wines and the people came back and their reactions was, is this Pinotage? So I think we came to a stage now where we're not at the top, but we're going fast to the top. And you know, a lot of guys always said, Pinotage can't be the only variety in South Africa. We said from the beginning, there's a lot of other varieties. There's good Cabernets, there's good Shirazes, there's good Merlots, there's good blends, Bordeaux blends, but there's good Pinotage blends also. And we just want to be one of the jewels in the crown of the South African industry. And sometimes I must say, I think Pinotage is becoming the shiniest jewel. And that's what I like.
This, of course, from a very objective perspective.
Yeah, it's my. And when you laughed, I knew exactly that's what you also thought.
What about this event and the role pinotage has in it in terms of selling the South African wine story to the world?
I think it's a big story. I know that not that long ago they did an experiment, or they did an experiment to see if people come to South Africa, what do they taste most? And they always ask for pinotage, overseas people. South Africans know pinotage and they've got their own ideas, but it's interesting, at the back is a stall with guys that make their own pinotages. And the guys are in awe. And they say, this is truly South African. But like I said, there's a few other wines also. It's not only pinotage, but it does a lot for the South African industry.
The energy's been electric all through day one of Cape Wine, but no more so than on the stand behind me, which is home of the Zoo Crew. There are many ways you can introduce Miles Mossop, one of South Africa's finest, most gifted winemakers, one of South Africa's finest, most gifted surfers, or one of South Africa's finest and most gifted fashion icons. As we can see here, people probably be quite surprised to know that you didn't actually have to rent any of this. This is just sitting at home in the closet, Miles.
Yeah, this is our daily attire back at Stellenbosch. Yeah, we work in the cellar like this. We've got a really nice dress up closet, thanks to my wife. She loves to dress up, loves to go to festivals and parties, and so we do just have this hanging around the closet, but I don't wear it every day.
Well, it fits in really nicely with what is, by some distance, the most colourful corner of Cape Wine. Tell me about the Zoo Crew and what it is beyond just making great wine that brings you guys together.
I think number one, we're all good mates. We're all really, really good friends. We get on well together. Similar philosophies in winemaking. I think one of the hallmarks is many of us don't have our own vineyards with buying grapes, so we work with the same kind of business model, which is quite a modern business model in the terms of the South African wine industry. But I think ultimately it's just we're really, really nice bunch of people who get on.
And having loads of fun, obviously, but also the important underlying prospect of selling some wine. How do you guys fit into Cape Wine? How does it work for you as a platform to show what you can do?
I think, so it's twofold. I think Cape Wine is a great platform. You know, with attention from around the world. There's some potential new customers, new markets one can get into, new importers. There's also trade here. So I just did a tasting for a guy from the UK who's never bought my wines before. Now he knows my importer, he'll be buying my wines from my importer. So that works really, really well. Being in a collective like this with the Zoo crew, we all feed off each other. You know, if someone is interested in something, a style that perhaps I don't make, or some other wines, I can direct them to someone at the table, because there's such a diverse range of wines and styles just right here between the 15 producers. So really a great way of networking and feeding off each other.
You've also got some proper rock stars in this group. Yourself, obviously, Duncan Savage, Chris Allied, you've got Jessica Sawine here. It's a group of people, Peter Allen Finlayson. These are some big names in this current wave of South African wine. Are you getting a sense that producers like yourselves are not the biggest, but you've made the kind of name that people beyond South Africa's borders are really starting to recognise?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, since I got into the industry, which is about 20 years ago, it was always just about the big names, the big brands, the big estates. You know, to come out with a small brand, bought in grapes, and try and make a name out there was very tricky. Now it seems that that's almost what the consumer, the wine journalists are looking for, really unique style of wine. You know, great quality, that's what we focus on. Every single one of these producers focus on absolute quality. And I think that's really been the secret. It's just the quality of the wines really speak for themselves. Obviously the outfits help, perhaps, or not. Maybe they detract from the wine, but yeah, no, definitely the quality of the wines is what speaks for themselves.
Well, I'll ask you one last question about those outfits. You are looking magnificent. Who's the next best dressed member of the Zoo crew?
Oh, I think Savage. He looks a little dodgy, I'm not quite sure, but that tracksuit is just, it's legendary.
So you'd never know which brand this gentleman represents based on the two bottles he's very subtly shifted into picture for our quick conversation. Paul Cleaver, lovely to see you. What do you make of Cape Wine so far?
It's been amazing, Dan. I mean, the energy. You know, when people's been locked up or in a cave and all of a sudden they're getting out, it's pretty much like that, right? I think it's not only from a trade point of view, but even South African wine producers, it's so amazing to see them again. They love being out there, sharing their product again. So the energy is palpable.
Yeah, with a group of people who are called something called Pivosa, which sounds like a trade union I've never come across. What is it? Who are you?
Premium Independent Wines of South Africa, but it's essentially, I think, a group of people who said, what can we do more to promote the premium side of South African wine? So it's not just about having cheap wines on your stand, but especially in a global context. I mean, you travel a lot will know that South African wines are incredible value for money. Somehow we need to get the message out there to say that we can really produce world-class wines and compete with the very, very best. And we should tell more people about that.
The people who are getting told that story here are coming from all over the world. What sort of interaction have you had so far from a foreign buyer, foreign interest perspective?
So we've, and our major focus markets, obviously the United States, they've got incredible buying power. So we've seen some people from the United States, Canada, England, Germany, Ireland, we just spoke about that, and they're all excited. They're all excited by what South Africa is producing on a consistent basis, and it's wonderful to see. I've spoken to some journalists as well, and they say it just proves it again. South Africa is really one of the hot places to producing wine at the moment.
3 days of incredible excitement and wonderful people. When we get to the end of that 3 days, we draw a line under Cape Wine 2022. From a South African perspective, what for you represents a successful 3 days?
The proof is in the pudding, right? At the end of the day, it's about sales. So it's wonderful to have all these people here. It's wonderful to them say the wine's amazing. Are we going to sell more South African wines internationally? And if we do, then I think we'll be successful.
It's taken me about 3 hours to get this particular interview. Such is the queue in front of Carmen Stevens Wine. Day one, it's been electric, hasn't it?
It's been amazing. It's been so, the buzz is right, the energy is right, people are excited to taste. And I think it goes for the whole, the whole floor. People are just so excited to see what is new, what's coming out of South Africa, and what are our approaches to winemaking.
People from all over the world here, which is fantastic. What have they been most interested in?
this is my first year that I do Shannon, and I think it's a completely different approach. It's a very clean, upfront, and yet very as good depth of flavor. And then I do a red blend, and people are always interested in why I came up with that. But I think the people come mostly for the Carmenere, and I'm very happy for that.
No surprises there. You're also here as a part of a small army. Tell me about the Wine Ark.
So the Wine Ark is a home or a brand home for 11 different black-owned brands in South Africa, and it's basically a footprint into the sector, into the market, because it's very difficult for black-owned brands to get entrance into the market. So our government has assisted us to have an e-commerce, a tasting room, a place where people can sit and then come and enjoy our wines. So you must come and enjoy and visit.
I will do exactly that. Not without one last question though. The Wine Ark speaks to an area of South African wine that is growing and developing. It wasn't always the case. How much change have you seen, and do you think we're heading in the right direction and at the right speed?
Are you talking specifically about the South African wine industry, or are you talking about the Wine Ark?
South African wine industry.
Personally, it's my personal opinion, much more can be done. This is only an entrance. We need more people that actually consciously ask for black-owned brands so that we can get a bigger footprint into the industry. There's 11, today there's 10 here, and people must come and taste these wines because they all are amazing wines.
Well, I think I'm going to do exactly that. There are 11 different producers. Looks like I've got some work to do. So that wraps up day one of Cape Wine. It's been a frenetic, mad, wonderful day. Some formalities at the start. Minister Toko Didiza amongst the dignitaries speaking at the start of a really important day for the South African industry. The place is packed. People are having a terrific time. I am surrounded by amazing wine. And in fact, that's what I'm off to do now. Taste a little more, explore a little more, and prepare for tomorrow and day two of Cape Wine.